Alright, how's it going? 2 hours Savior Shock. Okay, we love the title. You said in your 5 thing, in this game you think you played pretty well early, but then you didn't know what to do in the late game. You had a Yorick top who got top and bot inhibs pretty early, which you told him not to do because you think you could use the advantage and didn't want them getting infinite gold and XP. Enemy Karthus was a smurf. He spoke to him, he said his peak was 600 LP. He also said I played well early but entered in the late game. At around 21 minutes, when Yorick was splitting bot, when we had top and hip, I wanted the team to do Baron, but Ezreal died, and then not long after Ashe died, and I feel like that was our best opportunity to really try and end the game. You want to know what to do against Anivia late game, because when you try to side lane versus her, she can just safely wave clear with R under turret, and you forgot to mention that you're Diamond 3 in the US. Okay, by the way, just before this starts, like, crazy coincidence, but someone else just sent me a VOD. So you're playing Zach Yasuo, someone else just sent me a VOD of them also playing Zach Yasuo, and I almost opened the wrong VOD, so I just thought that was funny. That's like, yeah, crazy coincidence. Okay, let's get up a notepad. You've probably seen how I do this, but we'll talk over the notes at the end. Yasuo versus Anivia. All right. I guess we'll leave sound on actually. Put on 2 times for now. So, oh wait, did I? Oh wait, this is the second wave. That's so zoomed in. Okay, anyway, so wave 1, you versus Karthus. You probably won't get ganked, but yeah, you probably can't like play super aggressive in the lane. Guess maybe you can have a look at level 2, so if you use their cooldowns or something. I think, yeah, so far you're doing what you can. Actually, maybe I do need this on 1 times. Let's go back. That was good. That was actually really well played by you. I think... I think here, you should actually E back in. Like, she just used every cooldown, right? Let's look. So she used her Q. If you E in, you do take more minion damage, but I think you could get the knock up on her. And maybe another order, so I think you could have traded a little harder there. Obviously, you don't want to lose too much HP, because she has TP and you don't. But I think given that you'd already taken the minion aggro, it probably would have been worth to continue to trade a little more, especially after she used her Q. I mean, you do have a pretty good amount of sustain, so... I think, do you want the wave in this situation? Like, I think she would maybe be gankable if you would just let the wave come all the way in. Like, let's look. So, like, at level 1, let's just go all the way back. Because generally you, like, let the wave come to you early game so that you can, like, trade across them the whole wave, across the whole lane. And also to make them gankable. So, like, right now, I think it's sort of fine. I guess you're just, like, playing... You are, like, pushing quite a lot. I guess this is just something you need to weigh up. It's like, you know, if... Well, actually, no. I think it is probably just better for you to play a bit less aggressive. Because, like, right now, you don't really do meaningful damage to her health bar. And I think if you could get the wave on this side of the lane... Wait, let me just check if you can see my mouse. Yeah. If you can get the wave on this side of the lane, I think it'd probably be a lot more pressuring. You know, potentially she'd be level 3 gankable. And also, if she, like... If she were up here and had wasted her spells, you could probably chase her down a lot. I guess maybe... Yeah, maybe this trade isn't good. I actually think, in retrospect, it wasn't good. Because even though it was like a slight win, health-wise, it makes the wave, like, much better for her again. Like, she doesn't want the wave on your side. She doesn't want to be gankable. She doesn't want to be able to be chased down the lane. But you can actually kind of see here that the wave's in a really good spot for her. You know, it's like far enough up that you have to kind of move up to trade. And also she's not super gankable. Obviously... No, I think it... You probably still could have taken these trades without pushing the wave all the way back to her. So I think you should have maybe just, like, thought about that a little more. Okay, wait. That's pretty good. Anyway. Okay, well, we got her flash and we got her egg. Okay. Would be a good time to get a ward now. Like, normally you warded around 230, but you were safe the whole time because, well, 1, they have Karthus, and 2, Like, you have your jungler, right? But could you have warded anywhere? I think maybe here, you could have made this gang work a bit better. If you walked topside and warded, and then she hugged bot side, I think you maybe could have gotten a gank that way. Like, or you know, it could have been better. And also, like, if you get a ward in this topside river, it does tell you if Karthus is going to invade your jungle. So I think that could have been good as well. Yeah, I think if you'd warded at like 230, tried to lean Anivia towards the other side, it would have been better. Because the problem is now you don't know if Karthus is in your jungle or not. Or you don't know for sure. And you also still haven't placed a ward. Okay, Karthus is in your jungle, so your ward would have spotted him. You should be able to kill this guy with your mid priority, I think. Oh, he has flash. Maybe not. Oh, never mind. He's dead. Why is he flashing? Wait, does he just kill all the Zac blobs? That's funny. Okay, pretty good though. So, to kind of go back to kind of like talk about what's happened so far, I think if your wave control had been a little bit better, you probably could have got this kill on Anivia. And then I think if you warded at 230, you would have seen Karthus in the jungle earlier. And also, I think if you leaned Anivia kind of away from that side and like towards your Zac, you probably could have killed her like that as well. This is good. You have red. You probably just need to look to shove this in. I think the wave in this sort of like, okay, first Karthus it doesn't matter, but you should normally realize that this is pretty scary because you have no vision on either side of mid and you're pushed up. So again, versus Karthus, it doesn't really matter, but I don't know if you're thinking about this because it's Karthus or, you know, or if you're just lucky, but like right now, 4 minutes 30, you haven't placed a single ward, and you definitely had opportunities to. So you have very little information to kind of make decisions with. Hopefully we get a ward down. Dude, you just keep finding Karthus, but like it would be so much easier if you just warded somewhere. Nice windmill though. He did play it really well mechanically. He dodged pretty much everything. Yeah, okay. You mechanically executed it really, really well. Okay, base. It's 6 minutes and we haven't placed a single ward. If you're okay, I'm gonna quickly go back. So this is 4:30. We go really far back. So if you think you're not gonna have priority at all to ever ward, you can just drop a ward at level 1 on like their raptors or something. Or they're red, you know, and just like get a little bit of extra information. So that's if you think you never have an opportunity to ward. But I think like, you know, here it's really easy for you to just quickly ward up here, ward here, or ward over this wall. So you definitely had times to ward. And I think like just dropping one ward at like 2 minutes 30 or 2:20 or whatever, it does go a pretty long way. I don't think you should ever be at the point where you don't have, or when you have 2 wards at 6 minutes. Like, you don't get punished for it because Karthus isn't a ganking champ, but also it's like, that information could actually be useful for your team, I think. Hey, this is good. That was a good freeze. Quite scary for her. Yeah, you could definitely kill her here, I think. Yeah, she's no flash. She's so dead. It's actually really good what you did there. Like, holding it, so she just, like, juked herself to death. So, you've played skirmishes really both mechanically well and, like, well from a game knowledge point of view. So your skirmishing and team fighting is pretty good from what I've seen. At least in the early game. Okay, you shove this in. Now please place some vision. Oh my god. You're not going to do it, are you? Who wins this? Did she kill you? Oh my god, that's scary. Like, there's so many times, by the way, when you're just walking places that you can place wards without having to compromise where you're going. Like, you can ward over this wall and it's fine. You can pink ward this bush and it's fine. But, like, why do you even buy pinks? Like, you're not even placing your regular wards. So that has to improve a lot because, you know, your warding creates a lot of extra information for your team, obviously, and it's like pressure that every champion can create. It's like completely unique of, you know, what champ you're playing. It's literally just like your role as a mid laner as opposed to your role as Yasuo. So it's like 8 minutes, not a single ward has been placed. And like, you know, by this point you could have played like placed 3 or 4 wards. Because obviously you don't get extras if they just capped at 2. Like they don't charge up more. And that's a lot of extra info for your team, you know? Even here, like pink this bush. Like pinking these bushes is always really high value, even just for fighting. Like having a pink in this bush makes fighting these areas like way, way easier because they don't have vision of it. Okay. So this is obviously pretty bad, I think. So like just looking at this right now, it's like all 3 of them are still alive. Your Ashe isn't level 6, your jungle and AD are dead. So it's like unless you think you can 1v3 them, because Ashe is really dead. To be honest, I think Anivia actually has her egg again, right? So it's like even if you kill Anivia here, it doesn't translate into anything. So this is a really, really, really bad death because there's like so much gold here that you could get for not doing this. So with Karthus dead, if you shove this wave, you could probably take Raptors. So that's like 300 gold that you get right here. You get like the cannon mid wave, then you get the Raptors, but instead you take this really, you know, this is like 300 gold at best. Whereas the other thing is like 300 gold at worst. So I think here it's like obviously it is about knowing your limits, but it's also just knowing about like how much you can get elsewhere. So like obviously if you can 1v3 this, you should, right? But just realize I guess that this is quite risky and there's like a lot of gold for free right now. And also just going back to the vision thing, like whenever you come back to lane, normally that's like the ideal time to get vision because you can push a wave, then kind of regain control for yourself. Like right now, no vision bot side, no vision top side. So pushing a wave, like deep warding the jungle, taking raptors, it looks really, really good. Instead, you go here and die. So you lose what, 2 waves mid? Oh, actually, you're gonna get them. I guess you didn't have enough mana to push it any quicker. Hey, shove this wave all the way in. Where was Karthus? Did we see him? I don't think so. Oh, okay, we saw Karthus bot side, actually. Can you shove this in? Okay, so right now, whenever you get prior, obviously you get 1 turn to do something. So it's like here, if you look at the map, like what can you do? Right now, you can't gank top, you can't gank bot, you've already based. So the only thing you can do here is like either run to a camp, like wolves or crab, or go for some deep vision. But it looks like you kind of hesitate for a while. Actually, I guess invading this is good. But I think you could have decided this earlier. Like, the problem was, I think that it took you a long time to choose what to do. You know, you're kind of like walking around, you know, then we change directions. I think you should try have a plan of what you want to do with your prior before you even get it, just to make it more efficient, because by the time you get here, the next wave's already in the middle, so it's actually took you a while to get here. I see you're trying to cheese Karthus. He just goes mid. Actually, smart play by him. Wow, towers actually do so much damage. Okay. It's actually insane to me, by the way, that you still have not placed a single ward at 11 minutes. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Like, you just play the whole game with no vision. And I don't know how you play, like, I don't... Do you use wards when you're versus ganking champs? Like, I don't know how you would play against a ganking jungler as Yasuo, like, literally without warding. Oh, there's a ward. Is that the first one? I think it is. Decent pink ward spot. Yeah, so just farming mainly. Okay, nice. I mean, you are playing the fights really smart and pretty well mechanically, so that's definitely good. Yeah, push this in. You can probably get the plating. Curious how much gold you have here. Now, I can't see how much gold you have, but you have been on the map a long time, so I don't know for sure, but it's possible that you should have based, like, after... So, like, probably hit this plate, take the next wave, and then base. I can't tell for sure because I don't know how much gold you have, but like if you're staying like right now, if you base, you don't lose anything for it. Like you can base and get to the next wave before before it like crashes. So if you're staying on the map for item or something, then it's like fine to stay. But it's also like if you're staying on the map with 2,000 gold in the bank, you're really low pressure right now, right? Because you have so many kills worth of gold that you haven't spent essentially. So yeah, without seeing your gold, I can't tell for sure. But I would actually, if you remember how much gold you had, or just in general, like be very aware. Like your ideal base timing is when you don't lose anything, right? So right now, it's one of those timings. So if there is something good for you to base for, if you're like one wave off item, I can understand staying, but otherwise, it would have been really good to base there. Because like you should, and also it's like if you are staying, you should realize that it's like greedy and you really don't want to look for plays, you know? Like you have so much gold to spend, you really don't want to fight because you're just so weak compared to what you should be. Oh yeah, and you don't have ult either. So that kind of causes Zac to die. Okay, yeah. I actually think this is almost a game losing mistake, by the way. Like I need you to see that. So, after you kill this guy, push this wave in, take this tower plate, and now go base. And everything looks good. You spend, I'm guessing you have about 1,500 gold, so that's like 5 kills worth of gold, right? It's a lot. And then also it's like you're off the map when you don't have your resources. Like you're half HP, and you don't have ult. So it's a really good time to be off the map because you can't pressure even if you stay on the map. So you stay here, and because you stay, you can't fight this. You give up prior on the mid wave, and then like Zac sort of gets baited in by you. Like, okay, it's Zac's fault, right? But if you had based, this wouldn't have happened. And then because your base is so delayed, now you give up what, this entire mid tower or most of it? Okay, okay, you didn't actually lose a mid tower, but I think it was really bad. So you lost. Zac died. You lost 2 plates mid. You lost most of this wave because you were forced to let it bleed out. I guess, actually, you only missed the cannon. A cannon and one more. So he got a lot of gold for free. Nice combo. Yeah, I don't know why you're running bot here. It's so... Like, looking at this, it's like you're running bot to defend the bot lane tower, but I think it would be better if you just ran mid and pushed it and then came down, because it's like if you can get control over mid here, it makes it way easier to contest this dragon that's next. And also just running... Like, okay, actually, if you do want to go bot here, Ezreal needs to go mid. But, like, that didn't happen, right? So, it looks like you guys are just going to lose another giant mid wave. And also, because you have... Oh, yeah, so you're losing mid tower, I guess, and you're also... Because you have no control over mid, it's going to make contesting this a lot harder than it should be. Okay, yeah. No, this is fucked up. Like, okay, if you run straight mid here, you get power over Lowy, so you get mid. You can probably stop them from doing dragon, but you definitely don't lose your mid tower. And mid tower is so, so important. Because when mid tower falls, it opens up, like, this entire area of the map here. So you going bot, like, 1, you share farm with Ezreal, so you're both falling behind. 2, you lose a mid wave, and you lose the mid tower. And then it's impossible to contest drag. Although it might have been impossible to contest drag anyway, because Zac was so late on the map. But I still think there's a way higher chance, if you go through mid, that you can do it. So this is also, like, really, really fucking bad. Like, this and the previous play, it's such... I don't know what the gold swings are, but they're really big. This guy's dead. Okay. You're free to... Yes, this champ's so annoying. You can go Raptors though, so you go Raptors, and you go back to mid, so that's all good. We're getting a lot of CS. So yeah, after this, we probably look to go on the side lane now that Ezreal's back mid. Yeah, I think right now, you should run straight top. Okay, that looks like... Okay, yeah, nice. What are these guys doing? Okay. So you ran straight top. You brought 2 people top. That's really good. Oh, he used his blue trinket. Oh, dude, I love that moment where, like, where you show and she realizes, like, oh my god. Very nice. Holy fuck. Yeah, I'm impressed. Your Yasuo mechanics are actually sick. I'm impressed. You're definitely better at Yasuo than I am. At least mechanically. I'm not sure about some of these decisions, but... Yeah. Some of these decisions are a bit off. But that's also quite good, right? Because it means that you already know how to play the champ, and if you learn how to play the game, you'll improve quite a little bit. Now, I think... Yeah, this is also bad. So, right now, you kill this guy, there's no one here that can stop you. Like, if you look, like, Karthus is bot, you have enough lifesteal that you wouldn't be scared of Karthus ult anyway. But just, like, in case you were thinking about it. But, like, no one is here. No one is stopping you from shoving this wave all the way in. And if you can shove the wave all the way in, it means a lot more because, like, okay, so ideally, I think you shove an extra wave and then you base. And the problem is, if you don't, you see how the wave ends up in this spot here, where just, like, it freezes, or it doesn't freeze, it still slow pushes to him, but that denies you a lot of CS. And it slowly builds up so that they have a wave to farm. Like, if we actually just fast forward it, do you see how Kai'Sa gets to collect this giant 2.5 waves? Or, yeah, I guess like 2.5. Because you didn't shove that one extra wave. Also, maybe you could have done Krugs. I can't remember if they were up. No, Krugs wouldn't have been up in time. But, yeah, I think if you'd shove that extra wave, it looks way, way better. And there was no one to stop you and nothing to be scared of. So it was really bad that you didn't push that extra wave. It gives Kai'Sa quite a lot of extra farm. Denies you an extra wave. So, coming bot. You're pushing bot. You swap to blue trinket, which is, like, in my opinion, is bad. Because, like, if you're going to play the side lane a lot, having yellow trinket helps a lot. That being said, you don't even use your yellow trinket, so... Yeah. Maybe it's better for you, but you just need to get better at using your yellow trinket, because the way you kind of give yourself pressure on the side lane is by dropping, like, 1 yellow ward and 1 pink ward, and that should allow you, like, enough vision to play as aggressively as you need to. Now... This looks scary. Okay, if you pause this freeze frame, you can probably see, like, okay, dragon is the next objective. So if you do have control of the side lane, like adjacent to the objective, so like bot lane in this case, it makes contesting it a lot easier. Same with mid wave, like the two waves next to the objective are really important, right? But that also means that their entire team will be playing in this area. So looking at the map, it's like you have one warded bot side, you have this pink here. The entire bot river is dark. Your mid lane, they do not have prio over mid, and your jungler's top. So like you're playing like your whole team is here. Like, okay, if your jungler's in the bot river, your AD and support have control of the mid wave, it's fine to do this. But this is so risky, by the way. I hope you die for this, honestly. You could still walk out. Oh my god, no. Yeah, that's really, really bad. Again, it's like they have control of the mid wave, your jungler's on the other side of the map. You have no vision whatsoever, and like you're still out. You can walk out. You can walk out right now, get control of that bot wave, and then you're actually in a good spot. If you can get control of that bot wave and like Yorick's pushing top, it actually looks really good. But then the moment you E back in here, this is so fucking greedy, man. Holy shit. Yeah, you're a greedy motherfucker. There's no two ways about it. And then yeah, that's a really bad death, obviously, because it's like now contesting this dragon is going to be pretty hard. And it's also like if you can contest this dragon, or at least delay the dragon, it's really good because then Yorick can pretty much end the game top, right? But if you die later on, and because of it, Yorick gets like a Nexus tower, that's nowhere near as bad. Like, it's still not optimal, right? Giving 700 gold to Karthus is pretty fucking troll. But if you do it later, it's not as bad. But if you die for free before the objectives on the map, that's like... It's so bad. It's actually so bad. You've made so many game-winning plays this game. Like, you've played insanely well, but you have also made so many game-losing decisions that it makes me physically hurt, you know? Like, I'm sick right now, I have a cold, but you're physically hurting me as well. So that has to stop. Holy fuck, that guy's strong. Oh shit. You just got one to shot by the tentacle. Okay, let's see what happened here. Now, also notice, by the way, that your team managed to pretty much win this fight without you just dying for free. So if you had actually lived here, you'd probably get this dragon and just like pretty much win the game right now. But okay, come back. Yeah, I think you're right. You have to kite out this guy. He does an absurd amount of damage. I guess you just got to be thinking about the tentacles, to be honest. It's very Alawi specific, so... But if I'm honest, like, this death is not very important. You know, like, I don't think this converts into anything. Like, I don't think they get Baron from your death. You've already farmed the wave. You know, so this death, it doesn't really matter. It's way less important than those other deaths. Like, you can avoid it, yeah. But as far as death goes, it's pretty much not important whatsoever. So, that's fine. You come out of base, you come top. I would probably take this Gromp while you're here. I think like wave Gromp and then back to top wave, but this works too. This works too. I think you could have found the extra camp though. Also, it is just going to be quite hard for you to push the side lane because you have no vision, right? Like, you have no yellow trinket. Also, if you drop your pink in a very shallow spot like this, you're never going to be able to push up further. Because that just doesn't give you enough vision, right? I guess, like, if you have a yellow ward as well, it's not as bad, but if you're relying solely on your pink, it's very, very difficult. And I think you want to just, in general, stay in yellow trinket. The only reason you would need blue trinket as Yasuo is, like, if your team's quite behind, you have to keep face-checking the Baron. Then blue trinket can be good. But nice pick, nice pick. You come back. Here you should run straight top, I think. So, or Baron. Oh wait, this is probably the timing you were talking about, right? What was it again? At around 21 minutes when Yorick was splitting bots. Ezreal died and not long after Ashe died. Okay, so how did Ezreal die? He just died to Karthus, right? Okay, yeah, he died to Cast Assault. Okay, could your team do Baron? Yeah, maybe. If Karthus bases, you could probably do Drag. I mean Baron. But he didn't base. Also, it's pinked. And Ashe died. Yeah, I'm actually not sure you can do it though, because like the thing is, it's like you can't really get control of mid because your ADC is dead. I guess you could go mid, but you don't have that much DPS for this. It's just you really. And I guess Ashley Envies as well. But I think it probably, either way, whatever was gonna happen. Yeah, no, I think after Ezreal's dead, this probably isn't a play anymore. But I think you should have committed earlier to pressuring something. Like you could run mid here and push the mid wave and take tower, and then you could look at Baron, or you could run top and shove this wave. But the problem is, like, let's look. You got a pick, and then you stood around for like 30 seconds, I think. So 22:02, this guy dies. 22:32, you have stood in the river for 30 seconds. Yeah, so you got a pick, and you didn't do anything with it. Like, I think you could have gone for the mid tower. You could have pushed the top wave, but you spent 30 seconds just walking in circles. That was kind of unfortunate that Zach died. They get Baron, but it's honestly not the end of the world. But it is sort of... It does sort of suck. I also think this Baron probably would have been avoided as well. Like, imagine instead of you playing here, if you run to this mid wave with Ashe, maybe you can stop Ashe from dying, maybe you can get this mid tower, and also if you have control over mid, and Ashe and Zac do die, then it does take them longer to do Baron, but because you lost control of mid wave, and you're forced all the way back here, you actually have, like, negative pressure on the map right now. And that's insane, by the way. Like, just look at this. You guys got the pick. And you guys are the ones that are, like, falling behind off it. So, I think the biggest problem here was that you didn't push the wave. I think after you get this, either run top and push this all the way in and make someone base, or run mid and make someone answer mid. But just doing this, zero pressure. Zero pressure. Then yeah, that seems kind of just like a result. But yeah, you push this in. Here you should take Krugs. So like, if you push the side wave, it's pretty good. There's no objective for a while, I'm pretty sure. Like, there's no drag, there's no Baron. So, oh, there's an Alawi here. But I think Alawi doesn't have a wave. Honestly, I would probably do Krugs and then maybe Scuttlecrab. Like, you could maybe do a shit ton of camps here. You maybe do like Krugs, Scuttlecrab, Gromp, Wolves. Like, you could maybe get like 16 CS here. Is it worth you basing? It seems really just... No, it's really bad. It's really bad to base again. Like, there is so much gold on the table here. This is like, probably like 400 gold if you do like that sort of circuit. And instead you base and then what? No, man. You base and then you come and share gold with Ezreal. Like, if you base, then you should run to Wolves and Gromp. So that could be quite good as well, right? Like going Wolves Gromp here. Like, you could base and then do, like, clear upwards instead of, like, clearing downwards, which is actually okay. But doing this is, it's bad again. I don't like it. Damn. To be honest, you played that pretty well again. Let's just look at this, though. This is a 3v3. Good Q. Windmill was nice. I think here, you should know Karthus is gonna die. I actually think you could play this a little bit better towards the end. Like, I think here, you just start, like, you honestly just use the creeps to get out upwards. Because he doesn't have ult. I think you could have got out, but you did play it, in my opinion, pretty well. Just you could have played it a little bit better. No, you're going, Spear Visage. I'm honestly not sure if Spear Visage or Force of Nature is better, because you do get more MR for Force of Nature, but obviously you get less of the, like, self-healing. So I'm not too sure what's better. I feel like maybe this game, Force of Nature is better. But I'm honestly not too sure. I'm glad you went an MR item, though. I think that's good. Oh, they have Ocean Drag. Now the game's pretty scary. Okay, so here, like, can you really side lane? Like, bot lane's too far away, top lane's too far away. You kind of have to be mid here because there's nothing else to do. Although farming camps would be good. Get the grab. Okay, nice kill. So, again, it's like you've killed this guy in the side lane. You need to push like a maniac right now because no one can answer you. This is really good. This is really good. I think you win this, right? Oh, there's... Wait. Oh, what happened? So you see Karthus basing bot. How do you not have control of mid? They have 3 mid right now. You have full topside control. They have a bot side. I guess the problem is here that you just don't have any vision for yourself. You know, like if you have pink and yellow ward and you can like, you know, ward this area, then you can push this extra wave. But the problem is actually, well, it's like 2 things. It's like 1, they haven't shown on mid wave. Like you actually probably can get this wave if you wait a little bit, even without vision. Like if you just sit here and then wait to see if someone shows on this mid wave, and if they do, then you can shove it, and if they don't, then you probably have to chill out. Like, yeah, it turns out here that there was no one on midwave. Then you just kind of die. But, again, honestly, I don't think this death really matters. Like, you don't lose any objective for this. You got the wave all the way in. You got Anivia's egg. Of course, better not to die, but it's nothing like your earlier deaths. You know, you've had deaths this game that were game losing. And these deaths, they almost don't matter, I think. They almost don't matter. Now, this is sort of troll, I think. So, Baron's spawning. You definitely need to, like, be watching this. Because they have really fast Baron. They have, like, 2 Liandry's users. So right now, when you see them on on Baron, you definitely need to run to that. I don't think you should be running bot to Anivia. Yeah, no, that's... To be honest, maybe even just taking the red is greedy. They do Barons so fast. Like right now, if you either play to stop Anivia's TP, or you play to run here. If you stop Anivia's TP, it's actually decent. But... yeah. That's also really, really bad. Because it's like, we just gave up Baron for what? I guess like the reason this happened is because Ashe died, but like, could you contest it without Ashe? I honestly think you could. And like, if you don't, or like, if you can't, the game might just be over anyway. Because if they get Baron at this point in the game, like, the game's probably just GG'd. So you might just have to like desperation fight it. But I don't know. By this point in the game, not much really matters. You know, all the important stuff's already happened. Alright, so game over. Let's see. So, the good things, your Yasuo mechanics and skirmishing knowledge really, really good. You're clearly really good at Yasuo. So champion mastery is definitely not a thing that is holding you back, which is great. Now the things you okay. So first off, early game, biggest thing is warding. Like wards create like pressure for yourself and your team. So there is definitely too much. There's like you can definitely do warding too much almost. Like if you buy 2 pinks on every base, if you take so much time out of your lane to get deep wards that you're barely playing your lane, that's really bad, right? But right now you're at the complete opposite end of that, where you don't ward at all. And just placing wards either on enemy camps when you have prior, or just like literally so that they show the river, it'll create a lot of info for your team. And it'll go a really long way, especially because in the early game, normally Yasuo doesn't really provide anything to his team other than like 1v1 laning threat. And if that 1v1 laning threat doesn't even convert into wards, it's like you literally provide almost nothing for your team in the early game. So that's, yeah, we have to fix that. Yeah, just like keep in mind, I guess, like what you can do with your wards. You should never have 2 wards stacked up, pretty much ever. Let me just go back through the game because I kind of got a bunch of stuff, I think. This was like the warding. I think this was all good. So yeah. Oh, there was in the very early game, I guess maybe you could have like hugged the other side. So yeah, there actually was something. I think like early game wave control. So I'm not sure how you feel about this because I've never played Yasuo versus Anivia, but I think if the wave were closer to you in the early game and if you leaned her correctly, you probably could have killed her to the gank. So maybe just like, I'm not sure if you think or if you plan your first 3 waves, but just like have a really solid plan for your first 3 waves. To be honest, I'm not totally sure if that is right. Like I said, I've never played Yasuo and Nivea, so I don't know for sure. But just like my expectation is that it would be better if the wave were on your side. So yeah, maybe watch a VOD of the matchup and see. Or just like from your own knowledge, right? Like you might know that was really good punish. Played that real well. Now let's go to kind of like, I think your early game actually was mostly clean. There was also like, okay, here's where the biggest thing started happening. So I'm actually just gonna write this as like general stuff. So your biggest throws were, the first thing is like, I guess it's like numbers. Like thinking about numbers, so thinking about like where your teammates are/are not. So just in general, you should, before you take fights and stuff, just be like thinking about the numbers. So just realize this is a 2v3, 2 of your teammates are dead. So this, it just doesn't look good. And then it's also like, I guess like assessing gold on the map. So like when you're taking this fight, it's like there was midwave, there were raptors, like there was a lot of gold here. It's like midwave, raptors, and deep ward. Value on the map. Yeah. Like here, midwave, raptors, deep ward is probably more value than getting a kill here. And obviously, if you die here, it's super bad because you lose a lot for it. So that was like, this was like throw number 1. This is nowhere near as game losing as the others, but it sucks, right? It's like a death you don't want to have. The next thing was definitely this base timing. Where was it? It was here, right? So base timing. It's like, okay. As you know, ideal time base is when you don't lose anything. And now, if you stay on the map here, with however much gold you have, it's insanely greedy. Like, you give up all pressure to do this, so if you do decide to do this, you need to not look for plays at all. But because you stayed here, it's like you couldn't pressure the map for like a full minute because you were too weak. And then you had to like sit under your tower and not do anything. Like all this, it was just, even if you're waiting for your item, it would just be so much better to be on the map with your gold and be able to actually do something. Because, you know, the best thing for your opponents is this 4-1 Yasuo can literally like do nothing for a full minute. That's a lot of time where they just get to scale for free, you know? So that was really big. And then this, so like lane assignments out of base, this is another one. So when you base this respawn, like think about lane assignments. So here it's like I would say you should still go mid because you can like push mid. But if you're going bot, then Ezreal should go mid. And if you notice that Ezreal is not going bot, then you still need to go mid. You really don't want to share golden XP. Like, you're getting it all, but then you're just denying Ezreal, right? And during this time, like, this was one of the first game-losing ones, in my opinion. Because it's like, you and Ezreal lost all the gold combined, and you lost the mid tower. And Alawi got so much gold mid for free. So, I think this was really, really bad. Yeah, that was really bad. And then, okay, yeah, here's another one. So this was a side laning thing, right? It was like after you killed this Kaiser, I think. Yeah, so it was like after you killed the Kaiser and then base. So there's a lot of time side laning, you don't push far enough, slash take enough camps. So throughout the game, there was like this time where you didn't push it further, but there was no one to contest you. There's that other time where you just like base to match an Alawi that had no minions instead of like taking 4 camps. So you always want to try push the side wave, try push the side wave. I try to say wave and lane at the same time. Try push the side wave as far as you can without dying, because that gives you time to base, gives you time to do camps, you know, stuff like that, and it's the most pressuring. Also, it doesn't deny you creeps when it pushes in, so yeah, you really need to test your limits on the side wave quite a bit more. You're just basing too safely, and also I think that'll be a lot easier if you have like yellow ward and pink ward, you know, yellow trinket and pink ward. Here, pushing up. This was another, I would say, like macro thing. So if you again like think about where your teammates are here, it's like your teammates are all top side and you're playing super aggressively bot side while the enemy team has like full control over mid wave and like the bot river is completely dark. This was another, in my opinion, game losing death. If you don't die here, I think you might win the game right now. Because it's like, okay, you died for free. You literally got like nothing for it. Your team manages to win this pretty much 4v5. Meanwhile, Yorick is ending the game top. Like, imagine if they had you here as well. A 7 kill Yasuo. I think the game might have ended here, to be honest. Or at least you would have killed more of them and got Drag and maybe Baron. So, like, that was huge. This death here didn't matter whatsoever. Those, like, random deaths like that, that's what hurts your CS. So it, like, does matter a little bit, but they're not as big as the ones where you're just, like, actually losing the game off them. This was also really bad. So you need to have a bigger... Honestly, you just need more... Like, realize how important mid-wave is in the mid-game. In the mid-game, like, the mid-wave is actually the lifeblood of the game, because whoever has control of mid-wave gets to control, like, pretty much both objectives and control over side lanes. So, like, here, when your Ezreal dies, you're now the person that has to clear mid-waves. So you should walk mid and help Ashe. Well, you should just be pushing mid anyway for your gold. Yeah, so this was really bad that you did this. I think also if you had done this, you know, if you're playing with Zac and Ashe on the mid wave, you maybe get a mid tower here. But I can understand that you wanted to do Baron, but it was, I think, mainly because you didn't have enough prior in mid wave there. So yeah, I think that kind of led to Dragon going. This was where you overstayed on the map because of the side lane thing. Could have played that fight a little better. Yeah, that was kind of, you were a bit too, just like a bit too fast there. Oh yeah, this was like the last one. So I think again, at this point, honestly, it is hard for you guys to win fights. Like, they're up 5k gold with Ocean Soul, so they're like really, really strong. But you just need to be like aware of how fast they're gonna do drag. I mean, Baron. So maybe, like, you kind of have to try contest this 4v5. I don't know if you can win, but you pretty much don't have a choice. But anyway, the game's kind of over from that point. So, in my opinion, like, to work on the biggest things for you, warding will create you a lot of pressure. Pushing sideways further also will create a lot of pressure. And you've got to kind of clean up some of these random deaths. So I think, like, numbers slash thinking about where teammates are, that'll clear up a lot of the random deaths as well. Because you're doing a lot of stuff that's really, really good, but then you just, like, you just throw it, you know? Like I said, you make loads of game-winning plays, but you make several game-losing plays, and then that makes the game really cooked. I also think yeah, these are definitely the three biggest things, because, like, all these will reduce these, like, random deaths that you have to stop you from just, like, having a 10-0 game. Also the base timing. Well, I think the base timings, it's hard to say, because it was one really, really bad base timing, but I'm not sure if it's something that happens to you every game. I guess maybe, like, the base timing thing seems more of a symptom of, like, you not valuing, like, pressure on the map, you know? I'm not too sure. How do I put it? It's like, yeah, I think the base timing, it seems more of a symptom, so I'm not going to put that in general. Like, value pressure on the map from, like, wards, waves, you know, having HP, you know, like, there's a lot of stuff that isn't directly, like, gold or, like, kills or XP or something like that that translate into pressure, right? And it seems like right now, you don't really value it. Like, waves create pressure, wards create pressure. Even having high HP creates pressure because you can't pressure the map when you don't have HP, right? So all this stuff, it pressures the game in ways that you might not even realize. I guess the last thing also, the lane assignments. Don't share gold slash XP with your AD. Even if you're the one that gets all the gold, you don't want to be denying CS from your AD. Obviously, if only one of you can get the farm, it's better that you get it, but, like, I think every time you just, like, stole Ezreal's farm when you could have been getting your own farms. So yeah, I think those are the biggest things. So yeah, I'll copy paste this to you on Fiverr. Let me know if you have any questions about any of it. Yeah, I was really impressed with your Yasuo gameplay, to be honest, but you just need to clean up some of the more general game stuff, and you'll probably improve quite a lot. So let me know if I can make the replay public, and hopefully it's helpful for you.